Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Monday, March the 5th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market, macro and micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. We create multiple hypotheses because we do not know what the market's going to do. We create a plan based on what we expect the auction to look like if the buyers or sellers in control. We create two main hypotheses based on that, and then we have two expansion hypotheses, of which we've been seeing a lot of. In fact, Hypo 4 played out on Friday, which I said would be a low probability, but I also mentioned that we've been seeing a lot of low probabilities lately. This is a subscription room. If you're interested in checking it out, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. There's no website. There's no blog. This is not a commercial venture. We do everything live here in the pre-market session, and then we do live trading analysis during the course of the trading day. If you're interested in checking it out, again, send me an email at quantumleapfutures@gmail.com. Please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and your own risk metrics. So going to the actual trade levels and what played out on Friday. Hypo 1, we were looking for an open auction in range. We were looking for a move up into the testing the upper part of the distribution. Then we were looking for responsive sellers to step in and rotate us down towards that microcomposite VPOC, which is down. I was down at the 43. I've adjusted my microcomposites. We'll talk about that when we get to the structure. Hypo 2, I said, had equal weight as Hypo 1. I thought we'd see a rotational day. I just didn't know which direction they'd pick first. They did pick the lower side. I was looking for a move down into the 43, then basing and rotating, and then basically chopping between the 43 and the middle of the upper distribution, which happened on Hypo 2, but then Hypo 4 kicked in, and we got the continuation and the move all the way back up. In fact, I thought we were going to test into the 2700s into the close. We didn't. But you can see we had a triple distribution on Friday. They started to take back the down move again that we saw from the Trump tariff news, and we're finding some balance here in around the 83 area. So taking a look at the macro, I always like to start my day with a very simple candlestick chart. It's a routine that I've started many years ago. I continue to do it every day, and basically what I do is I start with a monthly, and I use a 9 EMA for my moving averages and a 20 SMA on all my charts. I don't trade off of the moving averages. I use them for homework. What I'm looking for is in each particular time frame, do we have good slope, good separation? Is price paralleling the 9? Is the trend intact? And the strength of that trend. Are we coming down and challenging the 9, challenging the trend, and are we breaking below the 20? Are we violating the trend? You can see on the monthly, we came down in February, broke below the 9, popped back up, and we're basically sitting just above the 9. The trend is weakening, but is still intact on the monthly. So don't get surprised when we get these moves up. In fact, we don't even violate the trend on the larger time frame until we get down into the lower 2400s. And that's an important aspect to keep you from getting too biased to one side or the other. On the weekly, we did violate the trend, and then we popped right back up again, and here we are coming and challenging it again to the downside. And we've got this balance in around the 2683, and we're trading just below it right now and challenging the 20 on the weekly. Going to the daily, we were starting to get this downward trend. They took it back, and now they're struggling to hold it, and we're back below 9 to 20. So there is weakness coming into the market. Moving into the intraday, into the 4-hour, you can see that we've had good slope and separation to the downside. Now they're basing. So the key here is whether or not we get above that 2700. I'm actually looking at that 2698.50 area. There's a single there, and if we get above that, we could pop up into the longer time frame micro composite, which is up at 2713 and a quarter, I believe it is. We'll take a look at that on the structure in just 1 minute. But we are below the 9 and the 20 right now, but we are basing, so we need to hold. Otherwise, we should get another leg down on this. And then just going down into the 30-minute to give us an idea of how we're coming into the RTH session. You can see we're basically chopping and going sideways. Our open of our week this week is at 2683 and a quarter. So let's take a look at the structure. Where's my composite? Oh, there it is. Now I've moved some of my profiles around. I've got it on the breakdown day now, and I'm running a larger time frame, and that's the one that's got the microcomposite VPOC at 2713 and a quarter. And we tried to hold value up here, and the seller stepped in the 2780 area, and now we're coming down, and we've got a 2-day balance right now down here in the 2677 and a quarter, and we're just trading above it. There's a CLVN here at the 2781 area, and then a HVN here at 2686. I'm watching this area for a push back up into the 86. Otherwise, I expect us to move back down into the 77 area, and then see if we hold the 2675 and a quarter. That is a CLVN, but more importantly, the 2675.75, excuse me, is the open of our year. So we are just trying to hold a bullish year, and we challenged it and broken back below it multiple times now. In fact, we have an H pattern that is set up on the larger time frame. You can see right here, there's the H. This generally means that there's continued weakness. We did have the 3 black crows that we talked about last week that's signaling some weakness. And we had our fibs target, because we were targeting that 81 off of the fib from the move down, but now I've moved the fib up and we I apologize. We came back down to the 50% retracement, and if we don't hold this, I'm looking for them to move down into the 2628 area and come down and test the 61.8 here. So I'm expecting today to see some rotation, some chop inside of this area, because this is generally what happens when you see these H patterns. But if we don't hold the year open, I'm looking for that move down into the 61.8. If we can get above the 2700, above that 2698.50, then I'm looking for a move back up into the 13 and a push up back into the longer time frame balance. So taking a look at the Globex. What did I just do? Here's my Globex chart. Whoops. You can see that we've had a lot of chop. Inventory is I'd say pretty much balanced. I'd say it would be about 60% to the downside. But we opened up, we tested back to the VPOC from Friday, found buyers, rotated back up to the close, failed to get above the close, and then we made that big move down overnight to the 63.75. Beautiful, beautiful example of a FUBAR Mr. Sneaky coming in at the low of the day, low of the night, rotating us, and then we got and broke above the open, but failed to hold. What do we get? Another FUBAR Mr. Sneaky, and they rotate us back down, and we're coming back down. Well, we're coming right back down in the micro composite balance at 77 and a quarter. We got a P-shaped profile. This is short covering in the overnight, fairly decent low with some tapering. But again, I'm expecting two-sided trading as they fight this year open and a possible move down to the to that 61.8 retracement. So taking a look and starting to move our overnight numbers. Now I've already got most of this done. We got a triple distribution. Our overnight low is down at the 63.75. I'm looking for that to get challenged. Our overnight high is up at the 91.75. 91.75. Oh, I put it in. I used an open swing instead of. And then I've got a single from Friday up at 85.75. We still have another single that we didn't take out from Thursday up at 26.9850. And basically looking at the 60 area for a trade area, 68, 80, 84 area, and the range high and the range low. So what are my hypotheses for the day? I'm looking for a rotational day. Rotational days, I give equal weight to my hypo 1 and hypo 2. I basically expect them to do similar things, just mirror each other with the initial move being up or down. So my initial hypothesis, hypo 1, is an open auction in range, a push up into the 85, and somewhere between 85 and the overnight high and Friday's close. I'm looking for responsive sellers to step in, rotate us down into the 60.75, test that 61.8 retracement, base here, and basically chop in the middle distribution from Friday. That is hypo 1. Hypo 2 being equally weighted, 50% probability to my hypo 1, open auction in range, a push down into that 60 area, base there, rotate us up through to the 85, take out the gap, close the gap, and then find sellers and come down here and balance in the middle distribution. That is hypo 1 and hypo 2. Hypo 3, because we have an H pattern and the black crows, I'm still looking for continuation down. So my hypo 3 is an open auction, failure to take out the overnight high, find responsive sellers, rotate us down into that 60 area, chop between 60 and 63, then fail and push down into the lower 2600s, with the target being the 2850. That is my hypo 3. Our 20 period daily average true range, that is the average true range on the full session, is running at 69.28. So we have range capabilities still to come down into the lower 26.22s based on the volatility and the average true range that we're running right now. As well, okay, we've got our daily upside ATR target up here at the 27.33, and that will be my hypo 4. Hypo 4 will be an open auction. Failure to break the low somewhere down here in the 60 area, find buyers quickly, rotate us up through the middle distribution into the upper distribution, close the gap, find buyers, and push up into the 27, with the target being the longer time frame microcomposite VPOC that is up here at the 27.13. Maybe even a late day probe up into the 24 to 33 area. But basically, I'm not looking for a huge amount of range. When I say that, huge being I'm expecting between 15 and 25 point range in the RTH right now. So basically less than half of what our 20 period full session daily ATR is. Okay, so that is my main hypothesis for ES. Take a quick look at gold. Trying to keep these things as tight as possible. Looking at the gold, we're still seeing some weakness in gold. We're finding some balance. The longer time frame microcomposite is down here at the 1319, the VPOC, I should say. Microcomposite VPOC is down here at the 13. Same thing with the smaller time frame. So we've got this balance coming on, but we are above the 20. We failed off of the 28. 28.20 has been a very important level for us, and it continue to be that way. If we can get above it, then I'm looking for the bigger move back up towards that 39. But right now we're failing that, so we've got to watch that 14 again. And below 14, I'm looking for a move back down into the 1300 again, but I'm not expecting it to hold this time. I'm looking for it to push through into the 84. Other than that, look for chop in around the the 18 to 25 level and just building in this distribution here. That's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.